Oops. Welcome to the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast. You can find us at www.liftheavyrunlong.com, on Twitter and Instagram at Lift Run Long. Also, feel free to email me directly at the address wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you're not a member of our Facebook group, you should be, because we want you to be there. Search for Lift Heavy Run Long Community and request to join right now. My name is Wilson Horrell. I am one of your hosts. I'd like to remind you that the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast is not censored, so listen at your own risk. Lift Heavy Run Long has an app, and we want you to be on it. For $3.99, you can be part of that app, and with that, you will have access to the greatest endurance trainer in the world, Ms. Valerie Hunt of RunRx.fit, and she will be delivering to your calendar 3 days a week, 3 bodyweight exercises that you can do from anywhere. You will also get 4 barbell strength exercises and 4 daily WODs. For $9.99 per month, you can have access to all the programs that Lift Heavy Run Long has to offer. Everything from 5K programs to 100-mile programs to triathlons to Spartan races. Get on the app. We'd love to have you. www.liftheavyrunlong.com. Click the Sign Up Now button, and you can take a look at the programs on there, and any of them that you like, any one of them that you like. You can enter your email address, and you'll be given directions to download the app and a free week on the app. My name is Wilson Horrell. I'm sitting next to the hottest woman in the world, Dr. Amanda Kimsey Horrell, jacked and tan.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm sweating my ass off.
It's a little warm in here tonight versus the other time.
I don't think it's warm at all.
It's not going to get any cooler.
I'm good with it.
I think the air conditioner's bummed out.
Yeah. It could be just because it's July also.
Everything costs $1,000. So the air conditioner guy will come out here and be like, going to be $1,000. And then pool pump people will come out and be like, "Gonna be $1,000." Life is a lot of money, man.
It is.
Sounds like some first
if you
world
want to live,
issues.
if you want to live the high life like you guys do, you got to
listen to me complaining. I'm talking about air conditioner in a studio, in a building that I have outside of my house.
I wasn't going to say anything.
And I'm complaining about a pool pump.
First world problem.
That's an auxiliary pump that runs the thing that cleans the damn pool.
I don't even have to worry about that because my homeowners association pays for my pool.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous the things that I complain about. I apologize.
My God.
Amanda, what's new in your life?
Not much. I'm back on it. Hurt my back on Saturday. Kind of tweaked a little bit and then went back. Started back Wednesday, so I'm back on it.
Good.
What do you do when you hurt your back? Just rest?
Rest. A little bit of like NSAIDs, ibuprofen, naproxen, and I've alternate heat and ice every 20 minutes, 3 times each.
Since you're a pharmacist, can you like prescribe yourself something extra that most people can't get? No.
Nope, I don't have prescribing privileges.
You don't?
Nope. At the VA you would as a pharmacist.
Oh.
But we're trying to get that done through Methodist, but it's slow going.
Why can the VA, if I were a pharmacist at the VA, I could prescribe myself something?
I don't know if you'd be able to prescribe yourself something, but you could prescribe patients things.
But I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think doctors, they do it, but I don't think legally, ethically, they're really supposed to prescribe themselves things.
Okay.
However, she sits 15 feet from the narcotics vault, and she has full access to
I'm
it.
sure they audit that.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's automatic. It's hooked on a computer with all the counts and stuff in it. But also
be a good
sit
run, though.
close to actual doctors who could write a prescription for me.
I'm sure you'd figure it out if you wanted to.
I have no want or need to go in that narcotics vault.
Yeah, well. We have the Reverend Vaughn Rawls.
You do.
How are you?
Here I am, man. Today is a fantastic day. Today is one of the best days I've had in the last 3 months.
I want to know why.
To be honest.
I don't want to talk about fitness today. I just want to hear about what's going on.
Okay. I feel good. I feel physically. For some reason, the last month, I've just felt shitty. Like, I just don't feel good. I don't know what's going on. And then our coach at the gym, Stephen Mathis, has some programming for me that I'm following. And I did these calf raises, 100 of them. It was called I'm doing a lot of bodybuilding stuff, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like 100. It was called death set of calf raises, 100 as fast as possible. So they were weighted, supposed to be, but I just did them standing on a 45-pound plate and was like, calf raises 100. I was like, I could do this. And I was like 20. After 20, I was like, whew, this is hard. Then I did 20 more, and I was like, man, this sucks. And then I was like, I did all 100, but I wasn't able to walk for like the next 3 days. My calves got so sore that I was like, oh, this really hurts. And then the Monday I went to work, and I was like hobbling around work, going, like I ran a marathon. And I was scared. I woke up on Sunday morning, and I got in the shower. I looked at my urine, and it was dark. Like, not super dark, you know what I mean? But, like, yellow. And I wanted it to be clear. You know, I was like, oh, what did I do? What did I do? I shouldn't have done those calf raises. And I felt bad for a few days. But I've just felt bad for the last month. Like, just not.
Did you know that you felt bad while you're going through it, or do you realize it more now that you feel good? Like, man, I haven't been really feeling that.
No,
good.
I realized it's just in a bad place. Just like, man, I just don't feel good. You know, maybe I should go to the doctor.
Well, you seem like your attitude's been really good. Have you felt bad more physically than anything else?
No, physically. All physically. You know, and I was just like, I should just get someone to check me out. And then today I woke up. Actually, my calves were so sore and I couldn't walk. And I was like, okay, what's going on here? Why is this lasting more than a day? I'm going to take some ZMA and go to bed and sleep tonight. You know, took some ZMA, went to sleep, had the crazy dreams. Next day, took some ZMA, went to sleep, woke up today, and I was like, oh my God, I feel so good. I think you really have to sleep to recover. You know,
sleep is so important.
I think
Yeah.
it's super
Sleep is so important.
And the deeper you can sleep, I think the better. And I woke up today and I was like, man, I feel fantastic. I went to the gym, did a workout, and I was like feeling good. I like had a run in the workout, felt good. And I was like, whew, man, I feel so good. And I went home and I was like, Holly, I feel so good. Like I felt better today than I've ever felt in a while. So here I am now, still feeling good. Like, gosh, I've just been waiting for a day where nothing hurts. You know, I can move. Even if I'm not strong, if I could just.
Do you take vitamins or supplements or anything?
I don't. No. Maybe I probably should, but.
Do you typically value your sleep?
No, not really. Like, I just do whatever, you know. But I had a conscious thing. I was like, why can't I go do a workout and not get super, super duper sore for 3 days and be out of commission? That's ridiculous. Like, what am I doing that's not right?
Well, you've been through a lot.
I have, but I want to get over it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so scaling down is really important. Like this morning I did 6 push-ups in a row and I was like, oh yeah, I'm not trying to do any more. I got my 6 push-ups and I'm here.
That works.
You know, it works for me and it felt good. I'm not going to try and do 7 or 8. I'm not going to even try to do 3 more. You know, I'm done. I did 6 and we're out.
Take the W.
Yeah.
Yep. Sleep is so important to me. Every day is so important to me. It really is, that I feel like every day is of value. And I have to weigh what is going to give me the most value. And most of the time, it's a good night's sleep. And this morning, I told Amanda when I went to bed last night that, I may go to the gym and do like some, you know, meathead work, or maybe I'll go run, or maybe I'll not do anything. And it was just kind of a, which one do I want? Which one's going to make me feel the best, like today? Not which one is going to like fit into my plan or help me reach my goals. Which one's going to make me feel the best today? And then I woke up at 5:40 and was like, man, I'm glad I slept.
Man, I had speaking of 5:40, I had the best day today, and I was like, I told Holly earlier, I was like, if I could wake up I woke up naturally at 5:45 this morning, went to the gym, did my workout. I worked from home today because we don't have anybody to watch our kids. And so some days I have to work from home so I can watch the kids. And I woke up at 5:45. I was like, man, I feel good. I'm gonna drink some coffee, go to the gym. It was perfect. Came back and worked. I was like, man, if I could do this every day, it would be the ideal scenario for me.
Do you think that's possible for them to give you a remote position?
I wish, but no, it would never happen. But
You don't think so?
no, but man, it was perfect. I enjoyed today more than I've enjoyed any days in a while. But I also feel good, so like that could be that.
Well, that's everything.
I just feel good.
I mean, that's I think that people overlook that. Like, I got to get this. I can't get enough sleep because I got to get this done. And it's like, why is it even worth getting anything done if you don't feel good?
Right.
Like, feeling good is priority number one on top of everything. Like, everything, nothing is as good as it can be when you're tired.
Oh, right.
Nothing. I mean, there's just no way to do it. And when you have rest, most things are pretty good.
Right.
So,
but I wanted to say one more thing. You were on the Up Before You podcast
I was.
this past week, and there were lots of things that just rang out and reminded me of your story. And you were talking about appreciating every day. You were saying, like, I went to sleep with the gun in the bed. And then I woke up the next morning and I was like, that really puts that into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate and I think you said to him, like, listen, I just appreciate every day I have from here on out because I was laying in the bed with a gun in my hand.
That's a bad day.
And I had the gun in my mouth or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I made it through the night. And that was very powerful.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody goes and listens to that episode. If they haven't heard your story, that's a good place to go start.
If you said you can go back in time and that none of that would have ever happened, you wouldn't have had to go through any of that stuff, then I wouldn't take that deal. I really feel fortunate. It's nice to be on the other side of it for now. But yeah, it really makes a difference.
But
it
was also funny to hear Connor, the host of that. I could just see him going, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?" Like he was like, so you just want too much? Like, what did your wife like? He just couldn't comprehend. Like,
Me and Connor did not run around with the same crowd.
right? Exactly. He just couldn't.
He is such a good guy.
He's
such an innocent guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm telling him about, what I'm doing. And he's like, what's a pain pill? Like, what's a Percocet?
He didn't even know. He's like, what's Valium?
What
does that do?
And, I was just thinking like, man, I don't even know how to explain this. Like, I was just derailed. Basically.
I hope that all of my kids are that great.
Yeah, me too.
Like that you just don't even know. Like, why didn't you just put the $2 million in the bank?
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't even understand. Like, what do you mean you went to college for 12 years? Like, I don't understand that.
When I was at Lakeside, there was a fill-in counselor there. And most of the people that work at these rehab facilities are recovering alcoholics and drug addicts. And this lady didn't have any sort of addiction issues. And we're in our small group and we're talking about what all's going on. And I say something, I'm talking about my situation, and she looks at me and she goes, she's supposed to have this deep, make this deep connection and give me this information that I can take forth into the world and become a better person. And she goes, why didn't you just quit? And I thought, you don't think that I thought about that every day?
Just stop.
Everybody here has thought about quitting. That's the worst advice I've ever heard. I forgot to mention the Chris Hope 5K. Saturday, October 5th.
I have. Did you see someone reported his post in our group?
No. What?
He posted a thing. Chris Hope posted a image of a speaker that you can win if you sign up for the hope for 5K, and someone reported it. and I kept it on the page, and then I commented, I was like, please don't report this post anymore. This is a good friend of ours, and he's doing really good work, and we appreciate him.
But how good is it to have people that care enough to think
Sure.
that he's trolling?
Right.
Chris Hope, the troller. We also have the Walking Tall, Big Hill Pond Walking Tall, 25K, 50K, October 19th. WalkingTall50K.com. Go sign up for that.
Sean's watching right now while he's packing for his race.
He is.
Yep.
All right. Sorry for Sean. He lost his grandmother yesterday. And that's a sad thing. Never
sad.
not a sad thing.
Yeah.
My heart hurts for Sean. I know he's very family oriented. So hang in there, dude. Boy, did I take an ass whooping this past weekend.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What happened?
It wasn't good, man. I just went up against a better man. I got nothing
we're
to
talking
say.
about the eat
Yeah,
off. With
yeah.
The Hangry for Hope, dude.
Tell me about that.
All
because
it's hard for me to talk about.
I
So for
can
those
imagine.
those of you that don't know, Wilson fell to Gavin May last Saturday.
Crumbled, was pummeled.
How bad was it?
Let me tell you how bad it was. I will never in my life do anything like that again. And that's not like you finish a race.
You
and
would
you're
not
like,
do that again?
No.
I figured you would love to.
No, not, as many times as I've talked about like eating more than somebody else or like brought up a eating competition or like I can eat more than you can. I've never actually sat down and done it. Have you?
I was in a hot dog eating contest.
Okay. How long did that last?
I won it, and I was like, but it was against the Journeyman. Like that was when I was on the Journeyman racing team, and they had a cookout at Sean McKinney's house. And I was like, I can eat more hot dogs than anyone here for sure. But I think I only ate like 5.
Okay.
So it's not fair. Like I was against amateurs.
Yeah. Well, I was not against an amateur.
Definitely not.
45 minutes is a long clock. If you're going to there's a reason that the professionals do 10-minute clocks, 7-minute clocks. Because we were like, I knew I was in trouble when he took his first piece of pizza and dipped it in his water. Because that's a pro move. And so we were both, we hit it.
Wait, whoa.
Gavin was dipping his pizza in the water.
What was he doing that for?
It soaks up so that the bread doesn't like expand. It makes it go down easier.
Down.
So he was totally gaming it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
To beat you.
He was ready. He didn't have any doubt. Which I knew that. I knew going in, this is probably, I talked a lot more than I really felt. Because I know how people like Gavin are, man. My brother's like that. My brother can eat forever. And he's about Gavin's size.
Really?
Yeah. And head to head, I can't compete with my brother. So I know that like my size doesn't necessarily make me a champ.
I saw a funny bit. I'm into this comedian, Nate Bargatze. Have you ever heard of him? He's from Knoxville or Nashville. And he has an awesome Netflix special. But I saw a thing he posted on Facebook of one of his bits, which was, did y'all get tickets to the hot dog eating contest? Because it's around the corner or whatever. And he says, I watched it, and then I saw this big fat guy against these 2 skinny guys. And I was like, well, that guy's going to win. The big fat guy.
Yeah.
But then he proceeded to get his ass whipped by the little small guy because
I don't know what it
ready to
is. I don't know what makes you good.
and he said it just proves that even fat people aren't good at what they're good at.
And that's what I told Gavin during the competition. I said, this is all I got. You can't take this away from me. You're a good runner. You got all these things going for you. This is my identity, and you're going to take it from me.
He took it.
And he did.
Well, Thirsty said, not a better man, just a better eater. You got beaten by a...
Thank you, Thirsty. What a guy.
That's true.
That
Where is that man at?
He's traveling away.
He's also a world traveler.
I feel like I didn't get advance notice of this.
Vaughn was hurt when he walked in and Thirsty was not here.
He was.
He was saddened.
I was.
Did you just miss it on Slack that he wasn't going to be here?
I guess I did. Slack is crazy these days. I've got like 5 channels that I have to watch.
A lot of time gets wasted on Slack. Back to the eating competition.
Okay.
I think I told you this. I've told 100 people this. During that eating competition, have you ever seen those mattresses? They stuff inside. They're
He
shipped.
got one sent to him.
You did.
I did.
They're
We got
shipped in like a
Jackson sleeps on
2
one,
foot by 2 foot cardboard
And you
box.
open it up, it's like-
you open it up and it comes like a king size bed.
You got to let it sit overnight because it expands out.
Well, that's what that pizza did in my stomach at minute 10. And so Gavin and I are cruising right along, and then it went from this is great, I'm going to do this forever, to I am completely done. And then you got 30 minutes to just sit there and get hazed.
Wow. Did you throw up?
No, but that was a real concern. You know, I gag, I get anxiety, and I start hacking. You know, I do that hack thing.
Okay, yeah.
And so once I start that, sometimes I can't stop. And so throw in eating too much, then it would be real easy to gag and just puke. I puke very easily. So that was a problem.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yes, I was super concerned about that.
I don't puke.
I don't either. It has to be the last thing. Yeah.
If there was an issue, like if I think I'm going to, especially back in the day, like I think I'm going to get sick, then I'd just, bloop, it's no problem for me. Just let it all go.
Oh, no. I remember the last time I puked was before the Stanky Creek Ultras. It was in September. I woke up early that morning to go to the run and just went to the toilet and just vomited. Like it was crazy violent.
Like flu type stuff?
Yeah, I guess so, like a stomach virus or something. And I was like, I don't think I can go run this race. What am I going to do? And it was like I was in really good shape at that time. And I was like, oh, I can't skip this race. What am I going to do? And I was like, and I was like, wait, I can't. I have to go to this race. Like, how can I miss it? I already paid for it. People are expecting me to be there. And I was like, I'm out. And I just went back to bed.
Huh.
And that's the only race I think that's the only race I've ever not started because of sickness.
Do you have any stupid human tricks that you do when you drink too much and you think you're going to throw up, like putting your foot off the bed or
No,
doing
I
anything?
don't have anything like that. I have a stupid human trick when I have hiccups.
Yeah? What do you do?
I drink upside down out of a glass.
Yep.
And it works every time.
It sure enough does.
I fill a glass with water and I drink it upside down. Like if you're looking at the glass, the opposite side of the glass, you drink out of that,
Yep.
turn it upside down. It works every time.
It certainly does work quite a bit.
It works so well. Although now I've added taking a big deep breath and holding it
See, I hold my breath.
while I drink it, and I'm telling you, it works every time.
I used to have people punch me in the forehead.
Oh,
It's your diaphragm. It's just your diaphragm like spasming. So why are you having people smack you in the head?
To get rid of the hiccups.
you're supposed to be able to like scare somebody and it goes away. So my kids, anytime they get hiccups, I'll sit there and wait. I'll be like, ah! I'll scare them. Ah! That never works. But the glass.
Oh, it does. The scaring works.
You think so?
The scaring works.
I've never had it work on one of my kids.
Well, I think it's more of a distraction of things than it is anything else. Or what's the science behind it?
I mean, that would make, it's your muscle. Pulls your body down, pulls your lungs to draw air in. So if you scare them and they jerk, it's going to jerk that muscle and it might stop it from spasming.
Well,
You don't think somebody punching you in the head might make you jerk a little bit?
I guess.
Well, there you go.
What's the upside down drinking? How does that work? It works.
I don't know.
She's making it up too. She doesn't know anything about it.
Doctors, they just make stuff up.
How much time do you spend in school becoming a doctor and learning about curing hiccups?
We could have just taught
Is it
you
like a class?
They
everything.
make meds for
Like
hiccups.
a 3-hour credit?
If you don't, like some people have permanent hiccups and you have to take medicine for it.
Oh my God, what a nightmare would that be?
My dad caught some hiccups in New Orleans on Bourbon Street that lasted
What?
over. I mean, it was all night. It was from like 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
man.
I mean, we're in the hotel room, at 10:30 p.m. and he's like, I am dying. I am dying. I mean, and it was all night long. And then they finally go away. He didn't sleep at all. And we're driving home and he's like 4 hours removed from the hiccups, and we get, an hour out of town. He's like, he's like, oh man.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I can't. It's like mayonnaise for me. It's like I can't have it. I can't have it even a little bit. I get one hiccup, and I'm like, oh, get me a glass of water. I'm going to drink it upside down, or I'm going to stand on my head and hold my breath. I'm going to do whatever I can until that I do not do this anymore.
It's bad. It's the heartburn that comes with it that makes it so bad.
We have an invite to come to Columbia. I think that's Montana or maybe Missouri. I'm sorry. MO.
Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah.
In October.
I just agreed with Vaughn.
The Rock Bridge Revenge Trail Race. There's a 7 mile, a 25K, and a 50K.
Ah, that sounds like fun.
I do the
From
7
Shauna
mile race.
Victor.
Very cool. Thank you, Shauna. Hey, guys, we got an out of town guest coming next week.
No way.
Yeah.
Who?
Ron Bogart.
No way.
Yeah.
All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Legion of Longevity.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
He's part
That's
of the
awesome.
5400 Club. And I said, he was kind of half joking, half not. When you going to clear me a schedule? And I said, anytime you want to come. And then we worked it out.
That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure it's next weekend. Next week. So
That's badass, dude.
Do we have any 5-star reviews?
I didn't even look. Tired of looking. We don't ever have them. I know we don't. You'll have to remind me before the show next week. But I don't think we do.
I don't care.
I think we've moved beyond that.
Y'all have. I'm stuck on it.
I think that we're much bigger than iTunes.
No.
I was
We're
listening
not.
to our podcast, and it was funny. You're like, don't leave a 5-star review. We
It
hate
doesn't
Apple.
mean the same to y'all as it does to me. Y'all aren't as emotionally fragile as I am.
Maybe not, but I check that shit every single day. Every
Oh,
single
did you
day.
say that they took off the
Well, here's one of
What's
my
hot or whatever?
one of the things I do every day, or typically do every day, is go onto iTunes on my computer, not on my phone, and I search for Lift Heavy Run Long, click on our podcast, and then when it comes up, I click on the category, the main category, which is fitness and nutrition, and I'll click on that. And then what you come to is a page that says new and noteworthy, which you have to have been just started to get in that category, so we can't get in that one. So then the next one is what's hot, right? And there'll be maybe 50 in that one. And then you have the big one, which is the best shows or whatever, top podcasts. Well, we've been getting into what's hot for like the last few months. Like we'll be in there every week. And now when you go there, you don't see any of that.
Man.
If I search for Lift Heavy Run Long, click on the category, it just takes me to the main iTunes page. I don't even see fitness and nutrition. I just see everyone.
Ron said it is next week, so please get the AC fixed.
They got to do something about that. It's heat therapy.
That's awesome that he's
It's like a sauna.
watching.
It's the opposite of cryotherapy.
It is not that bad in here.
I'm hot, dude.
It's okay.
I'm
good.
fine. I'm just having a good day, so you
And
can't,
I wore long sleeves just because it's usually a little bit chilly in here, so it's a little
you can't
warm,
bring
but-
me down today. So just try.
You talk about being brought down. We didn't make the damn best podcast in Memphis.
I don't know if we did or not.
We didn't. They would have sent us an email.
You got to wait and see.
I have waited. I wait and saw.
Voting starts on August the 1st.
But we didn't get nominated, right?
We got nominated. I'm sure we got nominated by
I know we
more
got
people
nominated.
than anyone. The gym got nominated for sure, right?
Because you got an email.
I did. No,
didn't get an
no. What I got was an email that said, "Hey, you got nominated for the best of Memphis, and you're in the top 8. You're 8th place.
Okay.
If you want to get higher,
Oh, that's where you pay and all that junk.
you can give us $400 and we'll put an ad on top of the voting thing, right?
Yeah.
So that people look at it and obviously want to vote for you. So I'm thinking that they wouldn't bother sending us that email, because why would you send, hey, you're in the number 1 spot of the podcast thing.
Because nobody can know that for sure. They would send that to everybody.
You could be right
and
about that.
and say,
But it wasn't a very professional email.
No, it wasn't that.
It looked kind of janky. So I was like, somebody's like manually doing this.
Well, they need to
like,
manually send me one.
But
Even if somebody who's not with the Memphis Flyer would make one up and send it to me and make me believe that we're on there, that would get me through a few days.
Someone out there knows someone at the Memphis Flyer. Reach out and tell them. We need to be on that list. And you said I was being arrogant, but we do have the best podcast in Memphis. Hands down.
Well, if we're not even making the nomination list, then some people feel differently about that.
No, that's not true. They just don't know.
Well, speaking of people sending emails, false emails, you don't watch Last Chance U?
I have watched it before, but I'm not caught up or whatever.
New season. Right. I love it. I love Last Chance U. Every season I love it. Well,
it's always about football, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And the coach was a maniac. And not to give any spoilers, but he recently got charged with felony counts of sending fake emails from the Johnny Cochran firm for cease and desist letters for press people bashing his name.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I got caught.
Wow.
Unless I read a fake news article, which is highly possible.
Wow.
This guy's nuts.
Sounds like it.
You better stop sending those letters from the Hollis firm. You better. Scott will get you.
Oh, this week I had a meeting with my computer programming team to discuss our app that we're building for school.
What are you guys building? You're building a chess game, right?
A chess game, yes.
Which is really impressive to me. Like, I would never be able to do that. And I'm a programmer.
Well,
I don't even.
Well, it must be pretty hard because most people don't complete the project.
Oh.
And we've got one guy who's heads and shoulders above everybody else that's really carrying the weight. But it's interesting. It's fascinating. But we have to have these meetings, a couple times a week on, whatever Zoom or, it's like a Google Hangouts type thing. So one guy's traveling, so he's got to have the meeting on the side of the road. So we're all getting ready for the meeting. Hey, man, how are you? Good. How are you? What's been going on this week? And his wife's like, what? And he's like, no. Bam. Somebody hits his car. He has a meeting. A wreck right there during the meeting. And we're like, you all right? You all right? He's like, no, I'm fine. Some guy just came back. Old man backed up, asked me if I knew how to get back turned around on the interstate. And then when he was driving off, he had his car in reverse instead of forward and rammed him and then took off.
No way.
Like hit and run.
Oh, man.
All right. Give me a victory that you had this week. Something that you're proud of. Who wants to start?
You start.
I'm ready. I did 6 push-ups this morning. So I can't tell you how fired up I am about that. One of my friends that I was talking to on Telegram or whatever was like, how many push-ups would you do before? And I was like, I don't know, like 30, 40. I could probably do 50. I feel like fresh. Fresh, I could probably do 50 push-ups if I was trying, And now this morning I was so excited to do 6. I'm like, I was like, yeah, 6 push-ups. I did 4 last week. So
nice.
And I did, I had a workout. You guys at the gym did a workout yesterday that was push press, double unders, a run, an 800-meter run, 80 double unders, and 24 push presses or something like that. 21 push presses. Yeah. I cut it down to a 400-meter run, a 40 double unders, and 12 push presses with not 95 pounds, but just the bar. And I was like, I'm crushing this bar, dude. This bar is light. I'm like, yes. It felt good. That was my victory.
Cool.
So that's why I feel good today, I guess, because I was so excited about working out.
I should have scaled that workout about the same. It took me forever. I just drug on through that.
Steven Mathis is real good about just, hey, man, cut it down.
Yeah.
Do whatever you know.
I would have taken so much more from it if I would have done half the reps, half the time. I would have gotten
It's crazy
a better
how,
workout.
It's
doing
crazy
that.
how good it feels.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to be wrecked for the whole next 2
Right.
days, or do you want to feel good for the next
Or just
few
drag
days?
through it, and that's not doing you any good. After a while, that's not doing you any good.
Well, I coached 5 and 6 a.m. yesterday for that, and I told him, or day before, and I told him, you need to get the run done within 4 minutes, and then you need to do your next two things within 2 minutes each. I was like, so adjust to that. Don't kill yourself. So I had a lot of people scale on it, and they came out just as good as the people who drug through it and did the whole, I don't know.
That's what I should have done. I should have done my double unders at 2 minutes. I should have done 4, 2, 2.
I'm sad because I can't do double unders like I used to.
Really?
But you'll get that back.
Yeah, I used to be able to fire them out. Like I could do 200 unbroken
Yeah.
easy. Today I was like, I missed at like 25.
Well, you just got done
No,
saying you couldn't walk from doing calf raises.
That's true. But that's very true. You're right. That's good perspective. But like,
Hey, I'm up
frustrated
to, I don't do it very often, but I'm up to 32 double unders in a row.
Hell yeah.
Which is amazing for me.
That's awesome.
So, Brian said, oh, hang on, let me fix my timer. His victory was 2 loops on the Tour de Wolf Saturday, rowing Monday, and CrossFit Tuesday.
Sure
well, we
enough.
don't care because you're not here.
Thursday's back in business, man.
He is. He's doing well. He's coming to CrossFit on Tuesdays.
Well, he needs
Yep.
to come back because this camera remote is not doing too good.
It's not as good as Swanson, is it?
No,
You tried to replace him with that little 5-cent
right here.
import from
This is-
China.
this
He
is
probably wrote a
thirsty
program to
right
put
here.
a bug in it.
He did. That's probably
Where it
what it
wouldn't
did.
work when he's not here.
Please work.
How do you even know? Will the light come on?
Yeah, there's a little orange light that flashes. Well, it did it a few minutes ago. I was so excited.
Hey, what's the deal with Area 51? I don't even know what's going on. I just keep
There-
hearing Area 51.
There is an army of like 1 million people who are on social media and going to go to storm the gates of Area 51 to see what's inside there. And like, there's all kinds of like awesome memes about like, I'm going to go to Area 51 and get my alien and bring him back home. like one guy like posted,
Man, I wouldn't worry about it.
I saw one today where a guy had ET on a grill on a rotisserie. He's like, after I get back from Area 51.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yeah. I mean, how can you not? Like, consider how large this universe is. There's a high probability that there's another Earth-like planet somewhere else. I mean,
Yeah, I believe that God has a bunch of Earths trillions of miles away from each other with human populations living, all doing their own thing.
we are very small. We are very, very small. And the universe is very, 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 very large. So you don't know what's out there, you know.
I was watching a thing on astronauts. Now I'm going to get my numbers messed up, but I'm pretty close. It said that, do you know how fast our Earth orbits the sun or the moon or whatever the hell it goes around?
In a year?
Just at a time, like how fast it's moving.
No.
It's like millions of miles an hour.
I think it's like 17,000 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
And it spins at like 70,000 miles an hour. Check me on that. But it's a lot. It's more than like 1,000, way more than 1,000.
It's fast.
So they were talking about and the moon and how it moves relative to how the Earth moves. So they said that basically, shooting a aircraft to the moon is like trying to hit a bullet with a bullet. You just kind of think that it's just like sitting there and you just kind of, and you go and you land and you moonwalk. But they're talking about how amazing that is that can be done. Like the science, that the calculation
Just
that has
to get
go
an
in that.
aircraft from the Earth to the moon.
Yeah, to be able to hit the thing. If
never
it's
thought
moving
about it.
70,000 miles an hour, that's a lot. Pretty crazy stuff, man.
Well, my victory was resting my back and not going to the gym and hurting it any more than I did.
Good on you.
Well, there you go. That's
yeah,
awesome.
That was
I
was a
took
good
my days
call.
off that I needed to, even though I really wanted to go and was scared that I wouldn't go back and jump back into it.
That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Are you still on the Brooke Ince program?
Yep. So I'm behind a few days now because of that, but I'm on week 5, day 1. That's what I did today.
So if you skip, you don't just skip. You go back.
No,
and
I go
start
back.
Where you were.
Yeah, I just pick up where I left off.
Do you get emailed programming for a month, or how does that work?
No, so when she first came out with her naked program, it was just an 8-week program that you could buy. So I have like the old school 8-week program that you can buy. And now, since then, they've developed an app, and it's monthly, and it's just constantly new stuff coming out.
And you can go back and look
you
at
can-
it. So you just
Yeah, so I just back it up. But Thirsty wants to know your victory.
My victory was mindset. Like, I've had a good mindset all week. I'll tell you what it's from. It's from last week's podcast when I can't remember what we were talking about. And you said, I was talking about like trying to lose weight or always struggling with weight. And you said, I just was under the impression that you were fine with yourself. You've always given me the impression that you're very comfortable with yourself and that none of that made any difference to you. And I've always liked that about you. And then I've taken that with me all week, and I was like, why don't I feel that way? Like, why would I not feel that way? It sounds so good to hear somebody say that.
Right.
And, it's clear that other people would feel that way about me. So why do I, badger myself so much?
Well,
so this week I've just felt really like free.
That's funny. Let's talk about that. Because I met you in a place in my life where I was very stressed out. like I've known you for how many years?
5, 6 years.
6 years. But I've known you throughout a season of my life that was very challenging for me and very stressful. And I was not in a good mindset, where you are probably in a really good mindset, So when I would express things to you that I was frustrated with, it's like, that's no big deal. And I'd be like, it is a fucking big deal. Like, how can it not be a big deal? Like, ugh. And I would constantly be frustrated by that, you saying those kinds of things. So I do still have that impression of you where it's like, man, I need to have that mindset myself. I think I do now to an extent. You know what I mean? I think looking back on it, I think I understand a lot of things better than I did in the time. You know what I mean? Where you would say, like, don't worry about that dude. Mm-hmm. That dude's not a problem. Mm-hmm. But like I said earlier, hopefully you were on when I was saying this, but step 4 or whatever, like there are times when people will piss you off.
Sure.
And it's okay to be angry and upset, but most of the time you just need to chill out.
Yeah. Well,
and so I got that from you, and
it's hard there's a big difference between shaking things off and dismissing somebody's feelings. To be like, well, don't worry about it because it's nothing. Well, it is something because it makes you feel that way. But at the same time, it's not something that you should ruin your whole day over.
Right.
Exactly. And my problem is the house could burn down, and I'll see that as an opportunity to be cool. But I can, the smallest thing can happen, and I'll just get fixated on it and turn that into the, my tire's low on my work truck. And I'm like, oh my God, my tire's low. And, and probably my transmission's going to fall out, and, I'm going to need a new rear end. And, so I am disproportionately
But I wonder,
calm.
To some degree, do you need to freak out about those little things?
Yes, I think so.
Because if you didn't, maybe you would go on to something else. You know what I mean?
I think my nature is to be pretty amped, pretty, up. And I think if I didn't have that, then I don't know. Probably wouldn't be as fun.
Steve Wilk has a victory.
What does Steve Wilk have?
It's a pretty awesome one. Qualifying for the Dakota Games CrossFit competition in September with his buddy.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Man, that is great.
I think that dude is probably one of the best athletes in our circle. I think maybe he's like just sitting by watching us going like, man, these guys are amateurs.
He's one of the best people.
Yeah.
Steve Wilk is one of my favorite people that I've just met because of this. I would not know who Steve Wilk was.
Sure.
He would not know who I was. And instead, we text every day.
That's awesome.
Probably every day we have some form of communication.
But I think he's a hell of an athlete. is what I'm saying. Like, I think he's not like, like he's like actually a really good athlete.
Yeah. Well, he sent me a picture of 1 year ago today, or 1 year ago yesterday, was him wearing his Lift Heavy Run Long shirt and the Swiss Alps. You remember that picture when he got the shoes?
Yeah.
And Steve, if you'll notice, I put the clogs back where they belong because Vaughn was so thoughtlessly using them to prop up the phone.
I only think about myself.
And I'm just not going to allow Steve to be drugged through the dirt like that. When he worked hard making those, he made those himself.
Oh, yeah.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Well,
I was like, what?
He probably didn't even buy them in Holland or wherever. He probably just bought them on.
Well, somebody wrote Lift Heavy Run Long.
He got them off Etsy for $29.99.
That's right. And that's brown Sharpie, just a brown marker that he wrote on there.
That's burned into that wood.
I wear them sometimes.
I'm sure that's what it is.
So what about Mark Fellows? What's his victory for the week? You know who Mark Fellows is?
The dude that was a mobster?
Did you read this story, Amanda?
No.
The guy's a hitman for the mob that runs marathons, and they hunted him down because of his GPS, his Garmin.
Dude, that's
information.
a crazy story.
Oh.
Yeah, he killed a guy on a bicycle.
Oh, man.
Yep.
I think he killed a couple of people, and he was a suspect, and so they started investigating him, and they went to his house. I think they arrested him for one murder, and then they went to his house and found his Garmin. And what he had done was they contacted Garmin and got all this information. So what he had done was he had got on his bike and rode this route for a certain distance. He got off the bike and walked a route for a certain distance, and then came back, and then he ended up killing somebody in the same spot he rode his bike to, and that was his escape route. So he had the week before or something had planned out this route about how he was going to go kill this person. And started his Garmin. He started his watch to see how long it was going to take him, I guess. Like, who does that? Like, I'm going to go kill this dude.
It's well timed out. You need to know how long it's going to take.
Yeah, you got to know.
You have to do that.
gotta
That's
hit
rule
start.
number one.
Never thinking that no one will ever see this.
Yeah, if you're dropping somebody, you got to know to do
all
that.
right, so I got to plan this out. Right. I got to go hit this guy for the mob. Okay, he's got to die. All right, so what I'm going to do today, this morning before I go to work, I'm going to get on my bike, ride the route. I'm going to go to his house. I'm going to ride the bike to here. Then I'm going to get off the bike. I'm going to run through the trail.
Beep, beep, beep.
And then I'm going to go whack this dude, come back, get on my bike, and come home
For time.
for time. I'm
Maybe
gonna
he was
start my
trying
Murder
to-
man for time. It's like a hero
Maybe
watch.
he's trying to do some negatives.
He's doing like some-
negative split, bitch. Here I go. Like
Think about how fast you could ride a bike right after you get done killing somebody.
Oh, man, his adrenaline's probably flying.
Yep, he could run forever.
Oh, man, there's
I'm all
so
for
many
it.
things about that story that are incredible.
Yep.
And then the people writing the article went to try to look him up on his results or whatever. And so they found a guy named, what's his name? Mark
Fellows.
And so they found Mark Fellows, and he had been in all these races. And they found him, but it wasn't the same guy. He just happened to have the same name. He was an attorney. He was a lawyer. And he was like, "Nah, I don't know that dude. Just happens to have the same name."
Speaking of races, our son Grayson has become really involved in running. He loves to run, and he's a really good runner.
Really?
He's really fast, and all this happened quickly. Like, he's come into his own athletically. He's 13 years old, so he's at the time of his life where, like, he's really, catching up with his feet.
He's 13 already.
Yeah, he just turned 13.
Wow.
Fastest kid on his baseball team and loves to run. But he's got this kneecap that keeps popping out. Well, it popped out way out once. And since he had it put back in place, he's had like 3 different episodes where he goes down.
What happens when I can't imagine a kneecap popping out.
I had the same injury at the exact same age.
What happens? Your kneecap
It
just slides around?
completely slides over.
Can you see it outside?
It is complete. It is the most traumatizing. It's not a really bad injury in terms of tearing an ACL, which you can't even see, but it really puts you down. But I mean, it looks like your leg is broken too.
Now, do you do it, or you take him to the doctor? Or do you just slide it?
The doctor had to do his. His went more up than over.
Oh my
God,
that
up
makes me
and over. And mine went over here, and so mine popped back into place. Like I laid there, they called 911. As I was laying there, there was like a real sharp pain, and then it just rolled back over. He had to have his set. But finally, he said, they had said there's options, there's surgery options, just depending on how this goes. And
put a nail in it.
And finally, he said, I just want to look at the surgery. Whenever he was running from somebody and it popped, and he said, I'm just so scared. Every time I run,
of course
I hate to be afraid that this is going to happen.
Right.
So we go to the MRI, and the doc's like, he checks off all the boxes for surgery. He's got like dysplasia, the way that his quad connects to his kneecap versus the way that it connects to his shin, and he's got a tendon or a ligament that he's pulled from the thing, kneecap rolling over. And the problem is his growth plates are still open.
Oh my gosh.
Is she showing you a picture of his kneecap?
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
What's the picture I'm looking at? What is that?
So that's his kneecap's like up there.
Oh, that's when it went out of place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then that's after they put it back in.
I can't take it.
So
that hurts.
He said he checks all the boxes, but his growth plates aren't closed up. So he hates to do the surgery now, because the surgery he'd do now is completely different than a surgery that he'd do a year and a half from now.
Sure. Right.
And
would he even be better when he's 18 versus right now?
That's the problem.
Right.
And so you ask him, well, do you think that he can get stronger, like that rehab's going to make him stronger and that these problems will go away? And he's like, nah, that's not. He said, I have two kinds of people that come in here. There's people that, take a helmet to the knee and it rolls out. We put it back in. They do rehab. No more problems. Then I have the people who are prone to having their kneecap dislocate, and it just continues to do it.
Oh my God!
Which is a terrible way to live. To have to get around every time you get excited and run after a ball.
Yeah.
You're like,
man,
my knee's gonna pop out.
What do they do? Just screw it into? Seriously, like
I don't know. I don't have any idea. Man. I had to have surgery on mine, but that was, what?
I think they tightened some ligaments
25 years ago. I guess 25 years ago. Let's see, I was 15. It doesn't matter. It was a long time ago. But the surgery is completely different now.
Does it just come out when he runs fast, or will it come out?
It's more lateral movements.
Yeah, when he is going straight's
run
fine.
straight.
He can run straight.
He's going to do track.
Yeah, but if
he said he can do track.
Takes a quick step to the left or right.
Okay, well, I'm good with that.
That kneecap shifts.
Wait until you're older and see.
And that's where he is. He's like, he wants to do track. He wants to run.
Yeah. If I could run straight, I'm good. I'll wait.
He ran 2 miles on the treadmill the other day in the burning ass heat in here in 15 minutes.
Nice. I don't need to play football.
Yeah, he's not really into that. And we're not a family of like sports. And he's not a guy that's like sports. But he likes to play. He likes being on team. And you hate for any kid not to be able to do whatever it is they want to do. But we're fortunate that track is what he wants to do.
But if he rode skateboards or something, he would have to have the surgery.
I asked the doctor about CrossFit, because I told him he's doing the CrossFit for kids. And he just said that the squats, especially at his age, that he could do the CrossFit for kids. He just had to be careful about things like box jumps and things that are high
anything that's like
impact.
Jarring. High impact.
And he said, squats are not good, especially at this age when they their knees tend to turn in.
Kids are terrible.
Yeah. Because all that has to strengthen up, apparently, as you mature.
Yeah. You always see those pictures of the kids squatting. It's like, I wish I could squat like that. You know what I mean? Like the babies on the floor, like squatting.
Oh, yeah, their butt to the
young
ground.
Kids, like just sitting on their butts. And you're like, whatever. But then when you actually get a kid in the gym to train to squat, like, ooh, this doesn't work like that.
No. Well, they have the mobility. They just
have
don't
the mobility,
have
but
the
like
strength.
they can't, you don't want to put any weight on them.
Yeah. What else we got?
Are you tired, Amanda?
I'm tired. I'm always tired.
I'm hot. Damn, I'm hot. I'm sweating my ass off. I'm
not
sweating like
hot
I
at all.
was during the pizza eating competition.
Talk about sleep. I usually get caught up on sleep every couple weeks. And I'm a totally different person when I
She is.
wake up
It
rested.
makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if you're a dude, ZMA is the shit.
What's in
Yeah.
it?
Zinc and magnesium.
Huh.
That's it.
Yeah, Amanda is when she is rested, she is so much happier. Not that she's like an unhappy, miserable person
Yeah.
to be around, but she's a much happy. It's a much better person to be around.
At one time, I got some ZMA, and I was like, it's the only supplement I've ever taken that I can see the difference. Like the last time I took it consistently, Holly told me, you're bigger than I've ever seen you get big. And also we made a baby. So I'm telling you, and I asked my coach, Mike Bledsoe, I was like,
From ZMA?
is there testosterone? Like how he was like, if you're deficient in testosterone, I could see how maybe it would make you whatever. But like, I'm thinking it's just sleep, you know, like
Yeah.
I go to sleep and I sleep like you wouldn't believe and have crazy dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just like, normally I don't sleep very well.
Yeah.
And so this helps me sleep better. And so I'm just naturally in a better mood. Today has been the most fantastic day I've had in like at least 3 months.
I take mag at night, but I don't take zinc.
Amanda has an incredible reaction to caffeine of any any
people are
dose
like that.
at all.
Yeah.
Like she came in, she drank a cup at like 9 a.m. And at 5 p.m, I'm looking at her and I'm looking at her pupils. I'm wondering if she's started
wrong with
doing meth.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just talking. She's as happy as can be. And Did I ask you if you'd been drinking or if you'd been on something? Or I told her, I said, I would
Were you on
ask
something?
if you were on something if I didn't know better. And she's like, I did drink some coffee. I was like, you did something. I mean, because it'll take her through the whole night, 9 a.m. through the whole night.
The whole night. I can't.
Yeah.
I can drink a cup of coffee and go directly to sleep. More so than if I
can
don't
do
drink
that
coffee.
too, yeah. I wonder because I have so much caffeine. I wonder like what would happen if I just quit caffeine altogether.
When I quit caffeine, I felt like shit for
It's not
like
pretty.
a month or two. It was bad.
I wonder how long it takes to like get to the point where I feel good again.
And then-
you know?
Couple weeks.
Now that I'm off of it,
Well, she said she was off for a few months, right? Or a couple of months.
it took me a couple months to kind of regulate my body out, like where I would wake up dragging, really wanting that cup of coffee, and it's like, nope, I want to sleep tonight, so I'm just gonna push through it. And now, every once in a while, I'll treat myself to a cup of coffee, and then I pay for it that night.
I mean, you talk about a clean house, though.
Oh yeah, I cleaned the whole house that day
Starting
slash
about-
night.
That's funny.
7 p.m. She's like, you know what? I think I want to build an addition onto a house.
I'm gonna go to bed.
I'm going to go lay some
gonna-
concrete.
So Wilson put his CPAP on, and I was folding clothes.
I'm like, all right, have a good time. I slept without my CPAP the other night.
I think I saw you said that on Slack, maybe, and it was the worst thing.
It's terrible.
You can't imagine how anyone feels not getting a good.
I cannot. I cannot.
He sounded terrible sleeping.
And she asked me, she said, you slept without your CPAP. And I said, I did.
He's like, no, I didn't. Like, yeah, you did all night.
And then I said, I don't feel any different. And then I got up and I moved around all day long. I was like Eeyore. I was just like staring, like, just felt horrible.
It's funny you said. It's crazy how anyone can have any quality of life with no good sleep. But it's also crazy how our bodies will adjust to whatever we're doing to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're putting pills in your body all day long and drinking all day
Yeah.
long, but you're still like, oh, I feel pretty good.
Yeah. Yep.
And then once you quit all that, you're like, holy shit, this feels really good.
Yep.
And you don't even know what it feels like to feel good anymore. And once you feel what it feels like to feel good, you're like, oh man, I need to feel like this every day.
It becomes an addiction to
Yeah.
where you want to continue to feel,
And you're so
you
clear.
want to feel as good
like,
as you can.
Clarity is the drug.
Yeah.
Speaking of feeling good, y'all have done this, and I know I didn't take y'all up on it, but the cryotherapy. Would you recommend that? Or did you really get anything out of it?
The first time I did it, I loved it. I loved it so much. I walked out of there and I felt like I was high. Like I was like, oh, I'm on like a whole different level than anyone else. But when I went back to do it, the whole thing was I was supposed to do it before the race that we did.
Yeah.
When you had like pneumonia.
Yeah, and then I was supposed to come back and do it again. No, we did it. We were supposed to do it 3 times. So we went for a test, and I was like, "Oh man, this is awesome." And then so the dude said, "Well, come back for before your race and after your race, and you can talk about what difference it made." But I woke up that morning and felt like shit. I was like, had the flu or something, and I got in the thing anyway, and I was like, it was like 5:00 in the morning. We met him, and nobody.
And then you went to her party.
Yeah, I
I
slept in the car while y'all did that. I remember y'all going out there because I was asleep in the car.
And I got to the race, and like Stephanie at the gym is a nurse or whatever. It works at the hospital. She was like, she just looked at me and was like, "You need to go home."
Yeah,
like,
you need to go home.
You could just tell by looking at me, I was just sick. And so I left and went home and didn't even do the race. And so that's my experience with cryotherapy. I loved it the first time we did it. I was like, man, this is awesome. I feel so good.
That's what, when you ask me that, I would say it either really, really does work or it really doesn't. And I'm not sure, because I've come out of there and been like, that was great, man. I feel great. And then I've come out and I've been like, I think
my suggestion would be, if you're training like twice a day, you're an athlete that's training multiple times a day all week long, I could definitely see you benefiting from that. Because when we went the first time, I trained I trained the morning. We went like at lunch or something. I don't even remember now when we went, but I went, and then I was like, man, I want to go work out again. Because I had a hard workout that morning, and right after I got out, I was like, man, I feel good. I want to go work out. I want to go train again. So if you were doing that and you need to recover really fast, I think that might be something.
My training is so much heavier. I'm doing heavy lifts now, and I'm doing hard, really strenuous wads and stuff. And I was thinking, well, maybe that'll help my body.
It could, yeah.
The Grizzlies travel with one.
Oh, I bet they do. Yeah, I mean,
I really want a sauna.
It's probably better than. I found a sauna.
We can't afford the pool pump outside.
Right.
We can put a sauna out here.
It'll be a sauna out there in about a month.
Just go outside.
We can just put a bucket of water in here. Be the same difference. Be boiling. Anybody else got anything? I'm sweating. I'm hot. Hours up.
We are done. Wow.
Lift heavy, run long number
155
is what?
in the books.
Nice. See y'all next.